bit more energized. So where are we now? Right now we're focused on building this sketching app. So this is a second project, second iteration of the sketching app. So there's a couple of new features just to remind you. There's kind of a size change that we worked on, I think, a week or two ago. There's a opacity change that we also worked on. That was like also prior weeks. We have like the color change control, and we also have like the mouse position indicator. We also have a clock here, which we're gonna work on today. And what else do we have here? We also have like this kind of particle effect that once you click on to destroy, gives you like this nice kind of Shazam kind of effect. Okay, so what we're going to do more features here today, kind of trying to get to this kind of point. And to remind you, the project 2 is due next week. So it's out now. So it's basically project 2, it's same as project 1. You have to propose 4 interaction flows. You can go with the default painting app or do something else. If you're doing something else, you need to get pre-approved by me or the TA. And that's basically it. Any questions on this? It's just the same thing as project 1, but with more kind of complexity. Okay, so let's get to it. So right now, what we have is this app where we can draw kind of spheres or like cubes and so on. So I want to work first of all on the destroy effect. So basically, when I click on some sort of object here, it will give me like that kind of flashy particle effect. So to do that, I'm going to introduce you to a new concept called particle systems. So if you right-click here on the hierarchy, kind of on the left-hand side, and let's see, there's like an effects tab here, and then click on particle system here. I'll give you that kind of particle system effect. You can see it already on the game screen. So for now, it's kind of a bit too on top of, in front of my face. I'm going to move it to the side a little bit. Anyway, so the idea is to use this kind of as like kind of like a game object. So every time you delete like an object from the screen when you're painting, you're going to instantiate one of these particle effects for like a little bit, and to give you that kind of destroy particle effect here. So let's see. This is a bit. Let me see if I'm on the right. Oh yeah, I'm on right there. Okay, so to do this, let's go to the code actually first of all. So let's go to painting. And while this loads, I'm gonna see if I can change a couple of things here. So for this particle effect, just to work well, I'm gonna first of all zero out all these transforms. So it's gonna be 0, 0, 0 everywhere. This is kind of important because this lets me kind of position the particle effect right on top of where I'm clicking to delete an existing game object. So very important that this is zeroed out here. And my particle system is right here. So the idea is basically, again, this is like a game object that we're gonna just use to and recreate when we are destroying objects. So let's follow our existing pattern, which is basically we're just uh, creating that kind of thing here. So that's going in public. So particle effects are not game objects per se. They're called basically they're called particle effect. So actually particle system. Sorry. And this is like, let's call this explosion or something. Okay, and I'm going to save this. And now you're going to see as it refreshes this, I am going to have like a kind of new option here. Where is it? Explosion here. I can like assign a particle system. So let's do that. Assign a particle system. Now, now the idea again is to use this every time I'm destroying an object. So let's go to where I'm currently destroying an object. So I can just do a find here in the code, destroy. So I'm gonna, just to make it simple, let's use this here, just in this spot. Basically, if we're clicking, we're gonna destroy an object. So, so let's do something like instantiate. So this has to have like an object. So I'm not done yet. And what else do we need to do when we're instantiating? Let me remember. Instantiate. We need the position. Okay, let me just put this in a comment right now. So position position of this object, and we also need the rotation. Okay, rotation. And what else do we need here? Okay, we also need, since we're, to make it kind of, what I can do is I can just type particle system explode, explode, instantiate, blah blah blah, and the position should be, let's say, where I'm clicking. So that's basically hit.transform, I believe, and position, yeah, and the rotation should just be like the default one. Okay, so something like this. So I'm not done yet. This is not done. I just want to run it to see that everything is kind of working. So I'm doing this. Oh, let's just cancel time destroy. So as you can see, this guy, what I'm deleting now, it's actually still kind of, it's not basically self-destroying. So the particle effect is kind of everywhere. It's like getting to a bit too trippy. So I forgot to add that destroy. So let's go back to the script and do that. Destroy. Explode effect. Let's call this explode effect. Destroy is all of that, and let's say that after 1 second, I want it to self-destroy. And just to be a bit more efficient, you can see I'm all the time kind of creating this new particle system here. Let's just put this up here, so it's a bit less costly computationally, and let's move things a bit around. So it's like this. Okay, let's see if this works. And okay, so it looks like it's working. Any questions on this? The code, right? Code. Yeah. So basically, all I did is I'm right now destroying a game object when I'm left-clicking on it. So before that, I just create like this explode effect, which is a particle system. it behaves kind of like a game object. So it's kind of like creating a sphere or whatever, but it's just a particle system. And then I'm destroying that particle system after a second, so it's not going to clog my screen with all these particles. Any other questions on this? And to get it to work, I actually needed to have this particle. I just created a particle system on the side, and had it as a kind of object in this script kind of master file. And then I actually have to assign this particle system here in my script, so it knows.
What's in the script master?
Here, so it's like right here. You actually need to assign a particle system. It's kind of like assigning a sphere or whatever, an existing particle system, so it knows what it is instantiating. Okay. Any other questions? So another thing I want to show you is we have like a problem right now. So right now when I'm let's see, when I'm clicking, it destroys and everything is fine and well. But if I click on another object, like say like this guy or the clock, it destroys it too. So I only want an option. I only wanted to destroy things that I actually created when I'm painting, basically painted objects, not like these existing kind of props that I have in the scene. So it's like actually a pretty quick fix, but let's show this to you. It does require a little bit of understanding. So where's our destroy? Destroy here. Okay, so it's kind of in the same code. Right.
I'm getting an error for the destroy explode effect.
Right. I'll be with all. If you have issues, I'll be with. I'll just make a pass in like a couple of minutes. Okay. So if you can wait on that for a second. So again, what I want to do is I want to prevent destroying props in the scene. Basically, I want to prevent destroying game objects that I have not painted. They were already there. And the way to think about this is when you're painting stuff right here, all these spheres are kind of a child of this painting manager, which is like the game object that we're using to kind of hold all these painted objects, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to use that to define my delete logic. So I'm going to check if it has a parent, and that parent is this guy. And if that's the case, then yes, I can delete. Otherwise, I cannot delete. So basically, this should not work. This should not work. So I should not be able to delete things that are not my painted objects. So I'm going to add like an if statement here. Let's see. If hit transform game object, and then I think hit transform parent is not null. So actually I'm going to, first of all, to be safe, I'm actually going to check that it has a parent, because some of my game objects don't have parents. Like these all top level game objects don't have any parent. So actually, first of all, I have to check that they have a parent. And hit transform parent game object. What did I do? Oh yeah, this equals this game object. Then do all this destroy stuff. So what am I doing here? So I'm checking if it has a parent, first of all. This checks if the game object game object as a parent. Okay. And then here I'm checking checking if the parent is this scripts parent. Okay. If the parent is this scripts, yeah, I'm not sure if the parent scripts assigned game object. So my script lives within this painting manager, right? So my script kind of belongs to the painting manager. So when I'm destroying things, I'm checking that if it has a parent, and then if its parent is the same parent as my parent, which is basically the my current game object. So let's see if this works. Give me 1 second. This works well, and this, see, I cannot destroy now, even though I'm left clicking on all this props. Yes, questions.
This is for in the, like, for, not in the code, but in the game objects list, there's a particle system. You made a game object called particle system.
Right, I added like
No, not in the code, in the, back to the viewer.
there's another particle system
And
here.
what's, okay, so is that a?
It's just like a new particle system that I have just zeroed out all its transforms. Yeah.
Hold up. Oh, there. Okay. Well, now it's on the screen, like, permanently. How do I get it to not be on the screen?
I'll be with you in like a couple of minutes, and then we can figure it out. It's like hard to help individuals. I need to show one more thing, and then I'll just make a pass, okay? Any other questions on that are not related to individual debugging issues? No? Okay. So, we did that. We did the destroy. Okay, what I want all of us to do is actually just, I want to actually get the clock to work. So let's take a look on that. So my clock, just to remind you, is it's basically like a cylinder that I rotated. It's not like it's a cylinder that's very kind of thin and kind of squashed. Okay, so what I want to do is my current clock is kind of really, you can see like it doesn't really look like nice. It kind of is a bit haphazard, and it doesn't have all the dials, so I want to fix that. Okay, so let's, I'm just going to fix it, deleting all this, and I'll just start from like the basics again. Okay, so we have our, let's move this hours again up here, and let's move this. So first of all, I'm just going to manually edit it so it kind of looks what it's supposed to look like kind of like aligned well and all of that. So I'm not going to use any, I'm just going to do this manually, but you can probably do this with code. So let's copy this, and let's copy this like that. So the look looks a bit better. Okay, and this is like an empty. Okay, so so I assigned these two dials to an empty parent here. Let's see if I can duplicate it, and let's just duplicate this to be what is this, 30. Okay, yeah, like that, and that looks kind of better. Let's do this again. 60. This again. 90, and do this again. Let's do this minus 30, and then do this again, and minus 60. Okay, so you should all have a clock like this, okay? And this is necessary for our next step. I'm gonna, oh, I forgot two important things. Actually, we need to add the dials now. So I didn't do any scripting yet. I'm just adding this kind of dials, and let's add actually the minute, hour, and second dial. So let's do that. So I'm just going to use this existing hour handle as a template. Move this out, and let's just make it. Let's just change the color here a bit. Or like make it a bit more skinny. This could be the same color, it doesn't matter. What is the right way to do this? So let's say this is like, let's call this hours indicator, and let's then have a minute indicator that's a bit larger. This should be like, how can I make this a bit nicer? No, it's not what I need. Yeah, like that. The minute should be a bit nicer. Let's call this minutes. Minutes, indicator. And then another one for like seconds indicator. Okay, and that should be even larger, something like that. Okay, and let's make it also red. And let's like make it a bit higher. Second indicator should be red. Okay, good. Okay. So you should all have your clock that looks like this, and you should all have the particle system here. Oh, that's not it. That's a different code. Yeah, so you should all have your particle system. And let me do a quick pass now to help with specific issues. So we have our minimum, okay. Now, to make things a bit easier, you can notice like, okay, let's look at the minute handle here. So I want the minute handle to kind of rotate, right, as a normal clock would when, or second handle would rotate like when it's to indicate the time. The problem is that if you rotate it like, naively like this, like 30, sorry, I think it's the Y, for me it's the Y. So if you rotate it like this, it doesn't rotate correctly, because right now it's kind of, it is basically, by default it rotates around its own center, but I want it to rotate actually around the clock center. So to get that to work, there's a couple of ways, how to define that, but let's just make the easiest thing we can, and that would be, let's create an empty. Create empty. And that empty should be centered where the clock is centered. It should be here, I believe. And the scale should be 1. Okay. So, and this should be like the rename. And let's call this seconds center. Okay. And now I'm going to put this second indicator to be a child of the second center. Now if I rotate, let's see if I get the desired effect. Yeah, so I do. So see, like, because now if I would just rotate the seconds kind of like this, like I did before, it would kind of rotate around itself, which is a bad thing for a clock. I actually want it to rotate around this point, not around its center. You can see the center point by where this kind of blue and red arrow is. So this is, it's going to rotate around this point. That's bad, but I want it to rotate around this point, which is good. And then I can rotate it. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing exactly for my hours and my minutes. So let's make this hour center. Again, there's probably a better way to do this, but I'm doing it like the kind of simple way. And this will be minutes center. And then here I'm gonna delete this, and the minute center should be like that. Okay, so I'll just check everything is working. Minutes is fine. Hours is also fine. Okay. Any questions? So all I'm doing is just the setup of this clock. Now I actually want to move the clock based on the time of whatever it is right now. For example, now it's 10:30, so it actually should show me 10:30 on this clock. To do that, I need to create a script here. So I'm actually going to create a whole new script just to be safe and kind of separate the clock, whatever the clock is doing, from my kind of painting script. So I'm going to add a component here, like new script, and let's just call it clock. Okay, does this work? Yes, it does. Let's see if this loads. Yes, it does. Okay, I have my clock script, and let me move this clock to the scripts folder, because by default it creates things under the top assets folder. So in my clock script, the idea is I'm gonna show the time, the correct time, by rotating the handles to wherever they should be. Okay. So I have three handles, right? So basically I have three game objects that I need to rotate. So let's do those definitions. So public game object hours, public game object minutes, and seconds. Okay. And let's here what we need to do. Let's just do a trial run with hours. Okay. I'm gonna public actually void update hours. So update hours will get something and just move the hours to the right rotation. Let's say that just gets the current hour as an integer. Okay. And okay. And just to see that everything is fine, maybe I'll just first of all put some dummy code in there. Okay, let's just do that. So it should be like hours local hours transform local equal new vector. I'm just gonna put a dummy thing here. This is F. Okay. So let me first of all just connect all these hours, minutes, seconds, and so on to the right objects. And let's put this update hours here. Four. So my clock, minutes and seconds. And let's again do void update hours. Update hours and hour. Okay, and this should be hours dot transform or local vector. Lots of like coding, but this is just for you to see how the sausage is made. Okay. Okay, are you gonna work now? No, you're not gonna work. Oh, I forgot to assign things. Okay, that's my fault. So clock, I actually need to assign all these dials. So hour center should be in hours. Second center should be in seconds. And minutes center should be in minutes. Okay, good. So now I know that everything is connected the right way. See, because my dial moves to a hard-coded position. Let's just do the same thing for all the other dials. So let's do update hours, update minutes, minute. Let's just make it like a 10 or minus 30 or something. Update minutes and update seconds. Update seconds. We can change this later. This is just checking that everything is kind of connected in the correct way, and this should be minutes, and this should be seconds. Okay. Seconds, transform, was it yelling at me? Oh, this should be second, okay. And update seconds here. Okay, so lots of boilerplate code, but you know, it's good to do sometimes. Okay, now if I click play, everything should be kind of aligned. Okay, good. So good. So right now I just dummy hand coded like these rotational angles. Any questions so far? I didn't do any kind of. I'm not. Yeah. Can you say that louder? Assigning thing. Oh, assigning thing like as in this. Okay, so I just created a new script, and that fixed it. Like it's like a Unity bug. That happens sometimes, yeah. Other questions? Okay, so how do we do this correctly? Let's not this one here, not this one too. Yeah. Okay, one important thing is, see here I used local Euler angles. And I'm not using like seconds, dot transform, dot rotation, and all of that. Rotation. Let me show you what that does. So this is like wrong, and this is right. So if you do something like this, equals, say you want to just do set the rotation to be quaternion, Euler, and then you just give it these coordinates. So like this is like a mistake that you may or may not make, without knowing. So what this does, it kind of sets the rotation to 0, 90, 0, which is kind of looks similar to this, but let's see what happens. You get like this weird thing here. So the difference is, and this is a very important thing that you may encounter, is this is basically our hours or seconds indicator here is basically a child of the clock, and the clock already has like some sort of rotation. So what you're doing here when you're doing this rotation, you're setting the absolute rotation to be so and so. But what you really want to do is you want to only just change the local rotation, because here, if you're changing the local rotation, that's getting the effect that you want. So you're only changing this rotation. So every time you have like a game object that's a child of a game object, that's a child of another game object, or just even one child, you only want to change the local rotations usually. You don't want to change the global rotations, because the global rotations are gonna get you an effect that basically is not what you desire. The only thing you desire here is just to change this local rotation. And that's because the way Unity works with rotations, it takes the rotation of the parent and uses that as a baseline for the rotation of the child object, which is this guy, when it does these rotational kind of calculations. Anyway, so this is like just a FY thing to notice. So let's finish this up. There's a couple of ways to do this. I'm just gonna use this option. Maybe in the online learning you'll see something else. So let's just grab the current time. I'm gonna use a system date time. It's like a C# kind of function that should always work. System date time. No. Okay. So this grabs me the current time. This is it's not like seconds or hours or minutes, just kind of like a game object. It's like not a game object, it's like an object that just holds all this time information. And now what I want to do is I want to parse it for each of these separate options. So let's just change this to be a bit more hierarchical here. So for hours, I want, I think you can just grab the hour from this and that's it. And that will be an integer, so that's great. And same thing you can do for minutes. And I think you can do the same thing for seconds. Let's see, second. Yes, so everything is like a nice integer. So now I'm kind of passing in the right information to all these functions. So now I need to just figure out how to rotate it to the right angle. So let's do this with hours first of all. Float rotation angle. Okay. This needs to be actually this guy. Okay. Okay, so how do I figure out, let me type this here. So I have, how many dials I have for hours? 12, right? 12 dial. I have like 12 dials for hours, right? Over here, 12 dials. And I have, let's just print this to see what it does. Debug log hour. Actually, I think it's better to also, let's just print the current minutes too. That's also like nice. Just print the minutes for now. and I forgot this rotation thing. Okay. So it's printing me the current minutes. Okay, that's fine. So what we need to do, let's go back to the problem at hand. So I have, I can't really show you this now, but this hour will be between 0 and 24, okay? And this will be, the minutes will be between 0 and 60, right? Because we have 60 minutes, and seconds you can figure out the same. So what I need to figure out is how to translate that hour to the right rotation. Like how to translate this number to the right rotation. So if you look at the clock, you have, how many degrees you have in the clock total? If you remember, 360, right? So we have 360 degrees. Let me show you. So here we have, actually let me, I don't need this running. So I have like, this is like 10 degrees, this is 30 degrees. Let me use the second indicator, it's like a bit nicer. 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees, which is basically back to where we started. So I need to translate the number of degrees. I need to connect the hour to the number of degrees. So the way to do that, is kind of, let's see. You can figure out on your own. You can think about it, but it should be something like, I have right now I have like a certain number of hours, right? Hour. And I have 24 hours overall. So this gives me like a number between 0 and 1. So will be a number from 0 to 1. Okay, because it cannot be more than 24 and it starts at 0. And now, like, if I do this times 360, that'll be a number, right? Does that make sense, my math? Yes? No? Maybe? Hour is only between 0 to 24, right? If I divide hour by 24, it will be the number between 0 and 1, right? It can be, because it can be more than 24. If I multiply that by 360, that will be a number between 0 and 360. Okay, so 60. So let's see if this this works. It will not work. Okay, what's my problem here? Maybe to make this a bit more clear, let me just make this 0. And what is my problem here with the hour indicator? What is it showing me right now? What time? It's not showing the right time, right? Okay. So let's see what's showing. So it's giving me 150. That's the time it's giving me, right? That's the degrees. So let's see if it's, I should actually try, let's see. So it's giving me 150, which is bad. I wanted to show 10. So 10 is like maybe 1 minus 150? No. 20. 10 should be something like this is 10, right? Something like that. So 10 should be 60. So we got something wrong here. Let me figure out how to fix it easily. So we actually want it to be 60, but it's giving us a different number. How can we fix this? What's the easiest way to fix this? I think it's related to this translation somehow. Oh, this is rotated. Let's do it this way. Let's see if it works now. No. So I have a problem with the rotations. Let me see how I can figure out a way to get this to work right. So if it's 10, it should be like this. But I'm getting it to be like this. Somehow it's rotating an extra, what is that, an extra 90 degrees. So let me see why is it rotating an extra 90 degrees? I'm not sure. Let's see if I can just subtract or add, subtract 90 and see if that helps. I'm not sure. Let's see. No. Rotation angle. Okay, it does help. Not sure if this is the best solution, but that kind of solves that problem. So let's see if I can just copy this. So I did this at home and it actually worked without this like minus 90. I'm not sure what happened here that's different. But let's just kind of copy this solution here. So here I have minutes, right? So minutes, I have only 60 minutes in an hour. So this 24 should be changed to 60. And this should be here. And same thing for seconds. So seconds angle, I also have only 60. This should be second. And that should change to also rotation angle. So let's see if this is right. Okay, I think it's rotating, but it's kind of mirrored. So the seconds is going the wrong way. Let's try to fix that. Okay. So I think if it's going the wrong way, we should add a minus here. That may help. Okay, that looks better. Now, just to make sure that the current seconds is right, let me print out the seconds here. Debug, log. So you may actually, for your own projects, you may actually have to figure out this rotation because you may have a different kind of rotation for your clock than. So I had to use this kind of hideous contraption of these kind of transformations of that second, but you may not have to do something like that. Just my rotations are off for some reason. So it shows me 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I can see that this is off. This should be something like this. Okay, so now I'm printing the seconds as I'm going forward, and it actually shows me the right value, 42, 43, 44, 45. So that's great. So I'm going to do the same thing with, I'm just going to use the same formula with all my with my minutes too. Not sure why Hours gave me such a rough time. Oh, I know. I'm very silly. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so this looks a lot like what it should be, right? I have the right seconds, and I have the right number of minutes. My hours, I need to fix it. I know what the problem is. Can anyone tell me what is the problem with my hours right now? I made a silly bug in my code here. How many hours do we have on the dial? 12, right. I wrote 24 here, which is bad. We actually only have 12 hours on the dial. So if basically what I need to do is I need to have an hour that is between 0 and 12 to make this work right. It's not gonna work right, maybe right now. Let me see. Maybe it will. And I'm just gonna add that minus from before. Maybe it will actually. Let's check out. Let's check this out. Okay, everything is working right. Okay, so I was just silly. So I did a bug with the hours here. It should have been 12 because I only have 12 dials. Minutes is fine, and seconds is fine. So only thing I did is like I added this minus sign before. Um, okay, and my clock is working. Any questions on the clock? Let me make a quick pass, okay? See everyone is on the same page. This was a bit tricky, but I think the code is pretty easy. The only kind of mathy stuff is translating between the seconds or the hours and the minutes to the right rotation. Do you have any questions? No. No questions. Any questions? No. No? Or yes? No? That's no. Questions? What? Oh, okay, that's sad. Any questions? No? Okay, questions? Okay, so that was the clock strip. Um, let's do another feature. So in this, so just to remind you, also last time we had this. Uh, if you go to Painting Manager, we had this time of day kind of setting, which could change the time of day, right? So I want to use that in conjunction with this button here. So here we have AM, PM, and that kind of changes also the light. So let's work on this button here, and also kind of latch onto this time of day functionality to actually change whatever the time of day is. Okay, good. So again, remember we have two scripts now. We have the script that is associated with the clock, and we have like the script that's associated with the painting. So the first thing I want to do is just want to move this whole clock a bit to the right here. And maybe make it a little bit larger. Okay, something like that. Now let's add a new, maybe more larger than that. Yeah, that's better. Now let's add that AM PM button. So the button I'm adding is this guy right now here. So I'm gonna create a new, let's see, new button. So that could be under UI, legacy, and button. Okay. And let's move this button to be all the way up here, like here. And let's kind of just make it a bit more skinny. And just position it right here on the center somehow, or on the side, doesn't matter. And let's call this AM PM. And also let's change the text here to be PM or something for now. Okay, so this is kind of like what happens in this project is if you click on the button here, it changes the light and also changes the text of this button. So let's work on changing the text first. So the logic to change the task will be the same logic as we had for this mouse position indicator. Okay? So if you remember, like the button has like an associated text field. So we're going to change that text field. So let's call this AMPM text. And on scripts under painting, let's call, let's just have a public text AMPM text. Okay. And let's have a new function called public void change or toggle AMPM. Okay, so this will be like the super easiest function ever. Like, so what I'm gonna do is if AMPM text equals PM, and do that, then basically change it to be AM. Else what is it yell at me here? What did I forget? Oh, this text painting npm text. No. Oh, I had two equal signs, so that's my mistake. Else that should be like a PM. Okay, so basically if you're PM, change it to AM, otherwise change it to PM. So I have like two states. And like if you remember, now I need to connect all these things together for it to work well. So if we go to my painting manager, I need to drag this text field, npm text here, and on my what else do I need to do? The button. I need to change the button. Now I have to add like a function here to drag this painting manager. So when on click, it needs to activate this painting toggle. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, this works text-wise. So let's see if we can get it now to change the light. So if you remember light, we already worked on it like in a prior class. We have this kind of scroll bar that can change it from -60 to 60. Let's it's kind of dark when it's like say -11, right? And it's not so dark when it's like 18. So let's just set it to those values. So time of day here. So if it's AM, that means it's dark. Should be -11. Otherwise, time of day should be 18. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, good. Very cool. Any questions on that? No? We're okay?
Can I see, how did you fix the issue with AOPM text?
Oh, yeah, I had like this was I had a bug. I just did this. I had two equal signs instead of one equal sign. It was a typo. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, let's just work on glow too. That's important. Now, we already have opacity here, so let's see how that works. So if I'm painting, I can actually change the opacity of all my objects like this, like so, right? Which is kind of cool. But in this example here, the example project, we also have a glow option, which kind of adds like a glow. It kind of enhances. So what this does, it also has opacity too. But so what it does, it basically gets an object to shine in a certain way. Uh, let's just make a very simple glow, and you can kind of change it at home if you want. I'm also going to put like online learning, where the lecture does it a bit more carefully. But the most simple glow we can get is first of all, let's see where we're changing the color here. So we have like this red, green, and blue, right? Color changes. So let's see where that happens. Actually, sorry, what we actually need to do is see where I'm changing the opacity and just use that to change the glow. So if you're changing opacity, right? So let's use that to change the glow. So uh, let's just kind of add glow everywhere right now, just to see if it works. Opacity, opacity, opacity. Where's my opacity code? Change opacity, change transparent. I call it transparency. Okay, so here's where it is. So to use I can use this like like this is right now, but I'm gonna just refactor it a little bit so it's a bit more easy. It's called material, and this guy. Just gonna grab this, some light refactoring here, just to make it like a bit more easy to work with. And that'll be material color, like that. Okay, so I didn't do anything yet. I just like added this material before. Let's see that everything is working. I didn't break anything. Okay. Now let's just add that glow. So changes the glow. So the way to add glow is something like so. So material set color, and here we need like so this is like the it's a bit, again, like it's kind of hacky. It's kind of like the hacky stuff we did here, but it's same line, same kind of thing. Emission, color. So basically the idea is like the material emits a color, and let's just make it emit like a red color. Color red for now. So I'm just going to get it to emit a red color for now. Let's see. I'm going to make everything emit a red color every time I change the transparency. So let's see if this actually works. So this is, you can see it kind of works. So yeah, it does make everything kind of glow red, which is kind of cool. Now, if you want it to actually glow using its kind of current existing color, then what you need to do is use this color and kind of amplify it. So I'm gonna put like, this is something I want you to actually check at home. So I'm actually gonna put a learning kind of YouTube learning thing where you'll just watch that video and see how to fix that. And actually also at home you can actually also add that glow slider. Um, okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. So one thing is very important is project 2 is due next week. Okay. So if you're late, you have 25% penalty each week, and I estimate that every 2 weeks or so after this we'll have a new project. So we're gonna be pretty fast from now on. So this is April 2nd. So then 2 weeks after that will be what? April 16 will be project 3, and 2 weeks after that will be project 4. So everything will be kind of quick. So it's up to you to keep in touch with this. Any other questions?